everybody, and welcome to the other side. I'm Dr. Louis Okun, for those of you who are watching for the first time. Each week we've talked about quite a few different subjects. This week we're going to talk about stress and kind of how it affects your life. We all know that stress is ever present and always going to be there. Some of us have more stress than others. Some of us deal with stresses better. Some of us don't deal with stress as well. But the stresses are always going to be there. And one thing I can promise you is that the cause of all health problems that we know of are all caused by stress. Now, when we think of stress, we have to break the stress down into three different categories. There's mental stresses. Mental stresses would be life stresses, would be your job, your family, your wife, your husband, your children, all your friends, your family. All these things are mental stresses in your life. Then you also have chemical stresses in your life. Chemical stresses would be foods we eat, sugars, salts, preservatives in foods, pollutants in the air, nicotine, caffeine, sugars, steroids. We all would say that, no, we don't take. If I ask my patient very often, do you take any steroids? Pretty much the answer I get is no for most people. But we don't realize that, or we don't think about that chickens, beef, they're using steroids to increase the weight of these animals because they're sold by the pound. So that's coming down through you. Pesticides in our fruits. So these are all chemical things that we're coming in contact with on a daily basis in our lives. So those are the chemical stresses. And then there is also physical stresses, which would be falls, accidents, improper posture, working at a workstation that's having you turned one way, or the computer's off, or the computer's up, or the computer's down. All these things are physical stresses on your body. Playing sports, running, jogging, riding bikes, wrestling. All the things that we do day in, day out that put physical stress on our body are all the stresses. Now what happens with stresses, now obviously no one can relieve all stresses because just living on Earth, gravity is a stress on the body. So the thing about stress isn't a problem until it exceeds the body's ability to deal with it. Stress isn't a problem until it exceeds the body's ability to deal with it. Stress isn't a problem until it exceeds the body's ability to deal with it. And then actual cellular damage starts to occur. One thing you could see, if you've ever seen a person that had a tremendous amount of mental stress, either a divorce, a loss of a loved one, a loss of a child, something dramatic in their lives, and you actually see them physically deteriorate. They'll lose weight, they won't sleep well, you will see them actually physically deteriorate. You could even see it sometimes in a long-term marriage when the one spouse dies, the other's, I guess, zest for life disappears, and they slowly physically debilitate, but there was nothing wrong prior to that part. So stress is devastating to the body. Now the problem with stress, like I said, is if it exceeds the body's, the nervous system's ability to deal with it, cellular damage will start to occur and your body will start to have problems. Now why am I talking about stress? Because how it relates to chiropractic. Since chiropractic deals with the spinal column, which houses the nervous system, by getting adjusted regularly, if you're under tremendous stress, it allows your body to function at a higher level where it takes more stress to damage. And it allows your body to deal with the stress better, because one thing I can't do, we cannot take the stresses away out of your life. That's kind of your job. And some of the stuff you have control over, some of it, unfortunately, you don't have control over. But the stress will always be there. That's always going to be there. But if your body's functioning at a higher level, has less interference, the chances of your body having damage from that stress is less. And the quality of your life will improve by having your body deal with the stress better, because stress over long periods, years and years, or months and months, is devastating to the body, and it causes damage to the body. And it shouldn't have to happen that way, because if you keep things working, well, one thing we do know with one chiropractic, adjustments help allow the body to deal with stress a lot better. But you know what? Exercise is huge if you're under stress, to have a release for your body. So there's a lot of things you could do, also nutrition. There's a lot of things you could do to help your body deal with the stress better so it doesn't get damaged. But I wanted everybody to really understand that stress is devastating. But there is things that you could do from nutritional aspects, what you eat, Because when we put in all these things, caffeines, nicotines, they're all stressful to the body. So those are controllable things. The things that are uncontrollable all the time are the personal, sometimes in the physical. Accidents happen. But adjustments do wonders for allowing the body to deal with stress better. So I hope you learned a little bit today about the devastating effects stress has and where stresses come from. Because they come from all around us all the time. And what we do here in this office definitely allows the body to deal with stress better. So the effects of stress on your body are not as devastating and not as damaging. So we'll see you guys all next week. I hope everybody has a great week. We love you. And have a great one. I'll see you next Monday.